Well, it says I'm live, but I seem to have frozen. So I'm gonna have to wait till somebody shows up to tell me if I'm actually moving or not. No, I'll pull a chance. I can't do it. Well, I can, just not for as long as he could. Oh, John Doe's here. John Doe says hello. Hello, John Doe. Oh, by the way, that post you sent about the Butterball Turkey scandal, Mrs. Thrasher told me about it too. That's that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. And it was the guy who did the he explained the origins of Yankee Doodle. That was the one that I was trying to remember. It was called it macaroni, and how in 18th century England, macaroni was like slang for super duper excellent cool. By the way, thanks for the vids. By the way, a lot of fun. Lance is here. Says, "Hey Thrash, Lance, how are you doing, my man? Glad you could make it." Gary's here. Says, "Hi there, everyone. I'm back. I'll be Bach, and I'll be Beethoven." Oh, Sister Sarah's here. Says, "Hi, everyone, especially me. Hi, Pawns. How do you do?" It was so nice seeing you a little earlier, by the way. That was great. What you mean is here. He says, "Hello, everyone." And I take it you guys can see me, and I'm actually ambulatory. And let's see what else we got going on here. A lot of people having fellowship. That's always nice. I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving, by the way. Glad you could all make it. Hope you didn't go into tryptophan shock. Uh, and let's just see. Gary's here. Yeah. Wajimeen's here. Lance, John Doe, Sarah. I want to make sure nobody sneaks in without letting their presence know. Because that actually happens. There have been times when I'm like 45 minutes in. I'm like, oh, when did you get here? 45 minutes ago. I will tell you, though, we have 6 people in the chat and only 2 likes. And I know we can do better than that, folks. So hit that like button. Lance says red one was not too bad. Good. Christopher Wilkinson is here. He says, "Good evening, Bob." John Doe says, "How can you tell if you had bad Thanksgiving when you're in the kitchen stuffing your turkey? Your neighbor is in the living room stuffing wife." Yeah, that would make for a very bad Thanksgiving. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Someone's in the kitchen. And Sister Sarah says that like button, share out, comment after the show, please, and thank you. What she said, hit like, subscribe. For those of you, I'm sure you're all subscribed. And then after the show, like and comment and leave messages and all that nice sort of rot. Oh, and Sister Sarah's sharing me out. Thank you so much, Sister Sarah. Thank you. I'm glad I remembered to share you out when I was on your show a little bit earlier with you and Snarky Sass and Danny and Tim and Eeyore and everyone else. Oh, look who's here. Tug is here. Says, "Hey, yo. Hey, yo to you, Tug Meister. Good to see you, my brother." Lance has hit that like button, what he said. Uh, Christopher saying good evening to Tug. Oh, I hope Emily Miller shows up. Slight miscommunication. When I posted on Facebook, I forgot to leave a picture. I just gave a message. And Miss Emily said if I didn't show my pretty face, she's not going. I amended it, so we'll see if she gets the message in time. Zublex is here. He says, "Good evening." And Zublex, as I promised you, tonight's trivia is going to be on British science fiction television. Booyah! Gary says, "John Doe, is that supposed to be funny?" It depends if you're the neighbor or the host. John Doe says, "Did you see the Charlie Brown 40 years later?" I did. I did. It reminded me of didn't they do something like that on Family Guy and Robot Chicken? It reminded me of something, and I couldn't put my finger on one. But yes, I did see that one. Lance wanted to know how Tug's stream is today. Tab is here. Says, "Happy Cyber Monday Eve, Thrash, and happy Cyber Monday to you as well." Thank you for the link, Sister Sarah. Be sure to give one to Waj as well if you could, and Tug and yourself. Let's see what else we going on here. Sister Sarah says Doctor Who. I might mention him, but I didn't want to make it all Doctor Who. I mean, even though a lot of us do follow Doctor Who, exterminate, exterminate. Look, I'm having the dialect run fast, even though they move like this. Exterminate. There you go. I remember I had an idea for a band once. It was called Doctor Who and the What's, and they would do "Shake It Up, Baby," and the background singers were dialects. Shake it up, baby. They would sing in that voice because it actually sounds like dialect singing in there. And I think I was doing a lot of drugs at the time. Snark Sass is here. Snark, how you doing? So good to see you, Miss Sass. And I was pontificating, so I don't want to make sure I don't. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody else. Elizabeth says so. The trivia promises to be a snooze fest. Tim says, "Would you please consider doing a Saturday Night Live SNL trivia in honor of its 50th anniversary on the air?" I'm going to write that. I, I'm sorry, Godzilla. Are you okay, buddy? You okay? Here, here. You can keep holding the glasses. He'll make a spectacle of himself. Spectacle of himself. There we go. There you go. SNL trivia. Trivia. There we go. Got it. Yes, I can. And I want to make sure I don't miss anybody. There we are. Yes, trivia. No, nostalgic pod blast is here. Chance, how you doing? Good to see you as well. Sarah, please give Chance a link if you haven't already. It looks like you just did. Tug saw Red One today. It was pretty good. Excellent, excellent. Skim down. Tug says, "Don't make Godzilla angry. You won't like him when he's angry." No, I wouldn't. And I don't know why he can't seem to hold the glasses now. This is actually a phone charger, but I have him hold the spectacles now. There we go. And we'll do this and then one on top. Put one glass on top of the other, and soon you'll be walking out the door. But well, there you go. And what do you mean says thank you to Sarah. And Gary says Geek or the Hulk. They're both green. John Doe says SNL was funny with the not ready for primetime players. Indeed, they were. I still love the weekend update. Still my best part of the show. Tab says, guess this iconic holiday movie by this one quote. You'll shoot your eye out. Well, the movie is A Christmas Story, and it's said by his mother, his teacher, the fake Santa, and probably a few others. But that's the movie. And Lance says, it has The Rock and Chris Evans as they go to rescue Santa Claus. Well, that sounds fun. And Tug says, sorry, I couldn't join you, Sarah, earlier. Snark. And Sarah's giving us a link. And it's just, Ziplik says, the Christmas movie. Well, it's the Christmas story, but yes. And Snark says, take a chance, take a chance, take a chance on me, take a chance on me. And Sarah says, we forgive you, geek, LOL. Gary says, Lance, it's Santa Claus, not Claus. Santa Claus. Santa Claus. John Doe says, I want to get Godzilla humidifier. It's about $125. A Godzilla humidifier. That could be fun. That could be fun. A propane lighter would be better, you know. There we are. Christopher says, good evening to Nostalgic. And Snark says, no worries. And only 257 is here says, oh boy. Yes, oh boy. And hey, did I see Mike Sylvia earlier? I can't remember. He commented on some of my posts, but then I could have sworn I saw him, but I not over Godzilla, and that was as they say that. And Tug says, what does Santa do when his knees give out? Santa crawls. um I named my pet lobster Santa Claus. And Gary says, sounds interesting. And 257 says, Lance, I want to see the Gladiator sequel. Now, it's a reboot. Someone told me it's not a sequel, it's a reboot. Like a remake of the Russell Crowe masterpiece I saw 3 times in the theaters. I haven't gotten to see it yet, by the way. I'm Don't laugh. I'm probably going to see Wicked first. Mrs. Thrash wants to see Wicked, and her and I haven't gone to see a movie since before the pandemic. Somebody says I thought it was Rocky. 257 says it's Talos with Talos. The Doctor Who villain, or Talos the big metal man. Tab says, guess this iconic holiday movie by this quote. I've made my family disappear. I've made my family disappear. Home Alone. John Doe says it was announced they're making Godzilla minus point one. It is in development. Ooh, so they're going to get into the exponential levels. Wow. Yes, Home Alone. Oh, what do you mean? That was my guess too. And Tug says, I'd jump it, Gary. Oh, hang on. Oh, I see. It was a reference to Gary says, Geek, what would you think about Santa as a shark? Santa shark. Shark claws. And then of course jump the shark. And with the pieces are all there. 2000 says Wicked looked good in the trailer. And oh, chances the Telos star system. Okay, that makes more sense. You know, it's funny. I asked uh Neil deGrasse Tyson if the Telos star system was the best in the galaxy, and he responded, "Bitch Pleiades." He responded, "Bitch Pleiades." Google it. Let's just see what we got. Gary says, John Doe, I haven't seen it yet. I'm guessing Home Alone. Chances Gladiator 2 is a continuation of the first movie in real time. Oh, okay. Someone told me it was a reboot. Ed257 says probably stream Wiccan. And Tug says Santa Jaws. I like Shark and Claws better, but Santa Jaws does have a nice ring to it. And just gonna skim down. And John Doe says it's unknown monster versus Godzilla. Oh, they're bringing another monster. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I'm hoping it's either Rodan or Anguillus. Anguillus deserves a break. And Sister Sarah says jump the. It actually jumped as I was saying jump the Santa shark. Yes, and there's gonna be a pun in there somewhere, like I'll have a red Christmas with you or something like that. And all the people saying hello. And John Doe, I haven't seen Godzilla minus one yet. Actually, neither have I. I'm so ashamed that I haven't seen it. Oh, Tim says even Mona 2 look good as well. And Tim says, guess this iconic holiday movie by the quote. It's Christmas Eve. It's the one night a year of the year when we all act a little nicer. We smile a little easier. I'm gonna guess wrong. I'm gonna guess National Lampoon's Vacation Christmas. And Lynn says Godzilla minus one is a great movie with heart. And Gary says I should have said Santa Jaws. My bad. Like I say, I'm still going with Shark Claus. And John Doe says people cried during Godzilla minus one because the drama was that good just by the storytelling. And Christopher says, good evening, Sarah. And oh, Danny's here. Danny says, greetings from South Carolina. Greetings to you. Greetings to you, by the way. Oh, and in case you're watching and haven't made your presence known, by the way, yes, Right Band Books. This was part of my presence from John W. Orchard. The other one, of course, being a copy of his book, Ghost Hunter, which I'm going to read and review this week. And thank you again, John. And to no Thresh, the correct answer was Scrooged. Ah, sorry. I don't think I've seen Scrooge since it was in the theaters, but thank you. Danny says, couldn't find you. And, but other people did know that was the correct answer. Lynn says, where's Tracy, Emily, Cindy, Sean, Dom, Liz, and Lisa, among others? And, we only have 10 people watching tonight so far. We have 10 people watching. That's crazy. But hopefully there will be more. 217 says Hideous Mutant Freaks. Indy Spout says the answer was the Minnow, James. The answer was the Minnow. Well, that answer would be to what was the name of the boat in Gilligan's Island. And I'm not sure which James, but love it. And actually, and also, Indy, help me out here. Isn't the minnow a freshwater fish? And Gary Carpenter says to Linz, I've got a problem with my phone. It duplicates my. Yeah, that's happened. I've seen that happen. That's why I'm not reading the repeat messages. I'm just reading it once and then moving forward. And Tug says, and hi there, Indy. And Lynn says 12 likes, 10 in here. That's good. Yes, it is good because now we're up to 13. And two of them says, It's a Wonderful Life. Great movie. It certainly was one of my favorites. And Zimmerlich says, overexposure, T-Pawns? Quite possibly. Quite possibly. And then he says, that is from Scrooged. Yes, thank you. And Tug concurs. John Doe says, Santa's Sleigh was a bad movie with Bill Goldberg playing an evil spirit Santa. I've seen some Santa horror movies. I haven't seen that one. And he says, yes, they are freshwater. Yeah, I remember that from when I was a kid. I always thought minnows were freshwater. Why would you name an ocean-going vessel the minnow? You know what I'm saying? It's just asking for trouble. Maybe it was an in joke. And Teb says, guess this iconic holiday movie by this quote. Teacher said, every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. That is from It's a Wonderful Life, which I have probably seen 40 or 50 times over the years. And yes, everyone concurs. It's a Wonderful Life. Gary Grumman says, it's A Christmas Story is nothing but trash, and so is the sequel. There's a made-for-TV movie about 4th of July, too, which you probably won't like either at this rate. And only 257 says, Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. I saw that in the theaters. I saw that in Kingston when it was the MST3K version and the Riff Tracks version. And I went to see Riff Tracks live. And that was one of the movies they were doing at the time. And Len says Die Hard, best Christmas movie ever. And Gary Carpenter says Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. I own a copy of that. And again, MST3K. And John Doe says, I do like the horror Ice Cream Man. I don't know if is that the one? Isn't Clint Howard in that one? And Kevin's here from the Entertainment Headquarters. Hello, Thrash, and everyone. Hello to you. He just posted Tarantula, by the way. Sister Sarah, please give a link, or Danny, please give a link to the Entertainment Headquarters so people can check out his seminar on Tarantula, the movie Tarantula, with DJ Anubis. You bet it is, bud. And Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. And Gary, 2007 says, Gary, no. Oh, and he says to Gary, MST3K, funniest episode ever. It's certainly up there. And Christopher says, I watch Santa Claus Conquers the Martians every year. And John Doe says, Gremlins, best Christmas movie ever. It's not even the best Phoebe Cates movie. Ooh. I'm sorry, that was fighting words. No, I like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and I think we all know why. And John Doe says, you are correct, Thrash. I'm not sure. I don't know if you mean it for that, but whatever, I was correct on. Thank you. And he says, hates A Christmas Story, won't stop going on about Santa Claus conquers the Martians. Time to change your meds, Gary. Ooh, Gauntlet, Throne, boom. Teb says, guess this iconic holiday movie by this quote. Hey kids, look, a deer. Hey kids, look. Is that National Lampoon's Christmas Story? I think it is. So I'll go. I'll guess that. I'm just going to keep guessing National Lampoon's Christmas Story until I get it right. Oh, also, little anomaly there. In all the other Lampoon movies, Clark's son is older than the daughter. In Christmas Vacation, the daughter is older than the son. The daughter is played by Juliette Lewis, who I think was in her early 20s at the time, even though she still looks 17. And the son is played by the guy from The Big Bang Theory, who I'm hideously embarrassed I can't think of his name of to save my life. But we all know the original daughter in National Lampoon's Vacation is actually a distant cousin of mine, although her and I have never met. And while I pontificated, I guess I was right. And 257 says, rather watch the Star Wars Holiday Special. Ooh, let's not say things we can't take back. And Gary says, only I'm getting ready to watch that later. And Kevin says, hopefully you make the giant behemoth thrash. I will certainly try. I will certainly try. My restaurant closes for renovations in the new year, so I won't have to work as much. And John Doe says the movie Ice Cream Man, where he turns kids into ice cream. I'll buy that. Gary Carpenter says, Indy, what meds? And Indy says, John Galecki. And I'm gonna Gary says the night they saved Christmas. I know I saw that, but I can't place it. But I know I saw that. Tug says Galecki or something like that, and Teb says that's Nash. Oh, Galecki, the kid from The Big Bang Theory. Thank you, thank you. And Teb says that's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation Thrash. Yay! Melissa Foster is here. Says hi, Thrash Bondo, and to all in the chat tonight. Hello, Melissa. So glad you could make it tonight. And Tug says, dang, Indy is much faster than me tonight. He's faster than any of us on any occasion. And 217 says, mean nightmare. And Indy says, the ones that keep you from posting twice every year. Posting twice every time, I guess. Oh, I see it. We're still going back and forth with Gary. Yes, most of us is John Galecki, who was in what was that sci-fi movie where you buy and sell your lifespan? Olivia Wilde's in it briefly. moving forward. Tug says Anthony Michael Hall was in the first Vacation too. Yes, he was also in Weird Science with Ian Mitchell Black, who I was talking about earlier today. Johnny Orchard's here, says, hey, all Johnny Orchard. Hey, buddy, thank you very much for the shirt. Mrs. Thrash wants to steal this as a night shirt. So I'm wearing it while I can, by the way. And I'm going to read the book ASAP and get back to you. Don't worry. He was apologizing earlier, gang. Apparently, there were a couple of typos in the book. I'm not that hung up on typos. And I'm sure it will in no way, shape, or form hinder the entertainment angle of the literary work. And I probably won't even notice. And a lot of people saying hello to one another. Nightmare Before Christmas is definitely a classic. 257. And Teb says, guess this iconic holiday movie by this quote, Charlie, stay away from those things. They're reindeer. You don't know where they've been. They all look like they've got key lime disease. I'm guessing Charlie Brown's Christmas. I don't know. I can't place it. Either that or Willy Wonka Christmas. I'm trying to think of Charlies that I know. These are the Charlies I know. I know. These are the Charlies I know. So get back to me, please. Oh, Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. And Johnny Orchard said, can I put my vehicle? No, I'm sorry. Can I put my website link so they can get shirts if they want? Danny, yes. Danny, please give a link to Johnny Orchard. I'm assuming they'd also be able to like buy copies of the book from you too, by the way. But yes, Danny, please give Johnny Orchard a link. Thank you very, very much. And Tug says every book has typos. It's so funny you mentioned that. It's so funny. One of my favorite sci-fi books of all time, of course, is Hot House by Brian Wilson Aldiss. And every time I read the book, I find a new typo. And it was so funny. Years ago, I loaned it to a buddy of mine, kid I worked with when I was still at the OG, and his fiance, later wife, I guess, worked in publishing and was really sensitive about stuff like that. And she actually, she goes, it was tough for her to read because she kept wanting to re-edit it. Let's just see. Johnny says, "I know, Tug. I owe you a shirt. Can you email your size and address?" Oh, by the way, John, I wanted to send you a thank you note. By the way, but I correct me if I'm wrong. The address on the package is actually to the shipping place you shipped it from, not yours. So I don't want to send them a thank you note. So if it's not your address, thank you. As it says, I wonder if there was a British Christmas sci-fi which included Godzilla. Oh, I wish there was. That sounds awesome. Quatermass and the Godzilla Holiday Retreat. Quatermass Godzilla Holiday Retreat. I'll work on it. I'll work on it. Tim says the correct answer is Santa Claus Thresh. The Santa Claus Thresh. Excellent. Oh, and John said yes. And Tug says, we'll do John. And says, sorry for the slow typing. Have been battling a cold or a flu since the day before Thanksgiving, slowly recovering. Very, very sorry. Hope you mend quickly. And John says, read Tug's book. Yes, yes. I need to do that myself, actually. But yeah, we should all read the book. Actually, that's a good idea. Anyway, John Doe says, what classic family-friendly Christmas movie had the great line, "It's garbage day"? It's garbage day. It's garbage day. I'm gonna say Die Hard in Time to Take Out the Trash. Santa Claus 1959. It is about says to Tug, but not every book has punctuation. A pickle for the knowing ones, e.g. And your cabinet says there's a third sequel to the Santa Clauses. I did not know that. Hi, Mrs. Thrash. Everybody say hi to Mrs. Thresh. Selena Delina 2 join. Johnny says, you're wearing the shirt is enough. Oh, thank you. Yes. Again, oh, she's glowering at me. Mrs. Thrash wants this as a nightshirt. I told her she couldn't have it. She steals enough of my clothing. And Lynn says, sorry, Melissa, get well soon. Zublik says, that would be your dream, bub. No, my dream is the Planet of the Apes TV show, Land of the Lost crossover. That's my dream. That's my dream. Although the post apocalyptic Wizard of Oz is a close second. But yeah, my dream is certainly the Planet of the Apes and Land of the Lost crossover. And Gary says, Melissa eating plenty of chicken soup. And Zublik says, now it's the king. We have our king. Well, someone does. Did I get enough water for you? She's like, yeah. She always wants me to get beverages out of our liquor cabinet, by the way, because she never wants to dehydrate during the evening. So, but she never wants to like jump in front of the camera, so I have to put water out before I do the show. Tim says, guess this iconic holiday movie by this quote: "Faith is believing something when common sense tells you not to." Um, uh, Great quote. Can't place it to save my life, Deb. I'm sorry. I think I'm batting like under 500 tonight. And Doug says you have to pronounce it right. It's garbage day. Gar, as in like alligator gar or Garth Brooks. Garbage day. Is it a pirate? The pirate movie. Hook. It's Hook. That's it. Nailed it. Kevin says, I would love to your address to send you something. Thresh. Oh, really? You can actually get it right off my I have a mailing address. I believe right on either my website or my YouTube site, or you know what? I'll Facebook it to you just to play it safe. I'll Facebook you my address, and thank you in advance for the gift. Lance says snow day tug. Um, I've seen snow day, but I haven't seen it. I think since uh daughter was in middle school. I used to own a copy. When Chris Elliott plays the plow driver, doesn't he? And Melissa says, thanks, Lance. Literally been coughing and sneezing a lot. Tug says, Lance, that where first episode is so creepy. Melissa says, hi, Mrs. Thrash. Tug says, Planet of the Lost. Um, yeah, because Land of the Apes is like barely a changeover. Lynn says, the Eye of the Beholder. Tug, that's a T-Zone episode, of course. Gary says, I've seen Scrooge once. It's fair. And I just jumped again, so I'm gonna yeah. Oh, hang on. I think I missed something here. A lot of people saying hello to Mrs. Thrash. Oh, and Kevin, yes. I want to take Mrs. Thrash to see Wicked. And he says, my dream crossover Planet of the Apes with the banana splits. La 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 la. I would love that. I loved the banana splits when I was a kid. Liquor cabinet. Yeah, there, you see? Behind the radio, that's booze. Melissa says, I'll try to get some in. Definitely been hydrating. Good. That's the best thing to do. Lynn says, call Thrash the water boy or Aquaman. Only says 1947 classic miracle on 34th Street. Danny's giving us a link. Thank you, Danny. Teb says, Thrash, the answer is Miracle on 34th Street. I haven't seen Miracle on 34th Street in years. I need to see it again. Years. But it seems everyone else knows it, by the way. Thank you, everyone else. Sorry. And Gary says, Indy, my dream crossover would be Scrooge. I'm sorry, be Scooby and the Gang meets Ghostbusters. Ooh. Ooh, I love that. That's like that would be really really cool, and I would have made it too if it wasn't for you meddling ectoplasmic reticulums. 207 says headquarters streaming it when it comes out. Be right back. Gonna get food. What you mean? Enjoy your late night din dins. We'll see when you get back. Indy says you may as well get ready to take on giant Scooby snack. Uh, Traipsing through New York. Ooh, definitely. I can see that. I can see that. And Tug says, I still want Kevin McAllister versus the Predator. I can see that. I can see that. And Zublik says, crossover the Road Warrior meets Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. Close, close. Well, technically he was a cop, but he was the Tin Man, not the Bronze. But Zoop, you're on the right track. Zoop, you're on the right track. And Toto is a dingo. Well, says I agree. Gary, Scrooge is an okay movie. Johnny says Gremlins is a Christmas movie crossover. Die Hard meets Gremlins. Ooh, ooh, I could definitely see that. That sounds fun. And Kevin says, who is planning to see Nosferatu 2024? Buddy of mine wants to see that as well. By the way, Mrs. Thrash has no interest. And 207 says, Terrell, you ought to consider yourself pretty lucky. And Tug says, I'm definitely seeing Nosferatu. And Lynn says, Stripes and Hans Gruber team up would be epic. It certainly would. It certainly would. And Zublik says, sounds interesting. The entertainment. And Teb says, guess the iconic holiday movie by this quote. Yep. Die Hard. Die Hard. And 207 says, headquarters on the streaming service. And John Doe says, Super Mario Brothers meets Black Star in a Christmas movie would be interesting. You can do so much with crossovers. You really can. And he says to Tug, then what are you doing talking to us? Run! And Gary says, Melissa, I just watched a Brave Star episode on the takeoff on the Christmas Carol, Texas Terrible Night. Oh, I can see that. Dude's like, I'll be Balk. Doggy, no. And Kevin says, mine would be The Land of the Giants meets Lost in Space. Ooh, they're both Irwin Allen. Oh yes, and the people, yeah, I can see that, and they use the Gemini one to rescue the survivors of the Windrift. Was that the name of the ship in the Land of the Giants? I can see that. I can see that. And 257 says Star Wars Holiday Special. And Tug says, Indy, he's harmless. He's just holding out his arms and walking back and forth outside the window. And oh, that's it. That's it. Peter Pan meets the Lost Boys. You see what I did there? Then Gary Carpenter says, in other words, I saw a video on the many kinds of Christmas Carol takeoffs. I'll buy that. And Mary Poppins meets Sherlock Holmes. Ooh, I can see that. Although, wait, how about Bedknobs and Broomsticks meets Riley Ace of Spies? And 257 says Gary stir whip 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 stir beat. And Len says Sling Blade meets Forrest Gump. Ooh. And Indy says so close. S- Spindrift. Thank you, Indy. And Zubik says a conversation between those two would be last for days. Lance, I could see that. And Kevin says, I will send you a mystery box, Thrash. Ooh, a mystery box. Awesome. Thank you in advance. And 257 says, Geek Riff Tracks version of Santa Claus Conquers the Martians was hilarious. And John Doe says, I have the first Christmas Carol produced by Thomas Edison. It runs about 19 minutes. Oh, excellent. That's very cool. And Gary says, only Elvira has a copy. And Melissa says, I love the original Miracle on 34th Street. Edmund Gwenn finally got his resting place in Hollywood forever. I think a year ago. It'll be this month. Arthur Dark helped to get him out of the vault. Oh, excellent. And you know what? I just realized it's after 8. So we really should start the trivia. And remember, tonight's trivia is going to be, ironically, Indy just asked, what's the topic tonight, Bob? The topic for tonight is going to be based on British television sci-fi TV shows. And as always, I shall read them in no particular order. Oh, and one was something so crazy, I didn't even get it. So I have a bonus just to level the proverbial field. And as always, I'll start in no particular order. Number 10. In addition to Space 1999, British sci fi legend Gary Anderson also brought us A. UFO, B. Survivors, C. Invaders, or D. Doctor Who. By the way, has anyone talked to Keith, by the way? I talked to him not too long ago, but I haven't seen him tonight, and I haven't talked to him in a while. So if anyone's talked to him, tell him Thrash is asking for him. Oh, and look who's just here. Emily, my lady, we were wondering about you. So glad you could make it. But anyway, let me repeat. In addition to Space 1999, British sci-fi legend Gary Anderson also brought us what? A. UFO, B. Survivors, C. Invaders, or D. Doctor Who. A lot of people saying hi to Emily, as rightly so. Oh, Emily's been lurking, eating dinner, and watching Gotham. Has anyone seen the new Penguin, by the way? Watch the trailers. I find it interesting, but hey y'all too, Miss M. So glad you could make it. And there's only 6 people watching. I'm sure we've all answered. So I'm guessing. 7 now. Let's go ahead and safe to give you the correct answer is A, UFO. Number 9. This is the toughie, by the way. Number 9, Sandra Dickinson. That's Trillion on the TV adaptation of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, in case you need to know that, was actually married to this doctor, as in Doctor Who fame. A. John Pertwee, B. Tom Baker, C. Peter Davidson, or D. Colin Baker. I shall repeat. Oh, Johnny Orchard said Penguin is awesome. Good, good. I shall repeat. Sandra Dickinson, Trillion on the TV adaptation of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, was married to this doctor. Was it of Doctor Who fame, of course? A. John Pertwee, B. Tom Baker, C. Peter Davidson, or D. Colin Baker? A lot of people going the obvious. Or some people going the obvious. Doctor Who meets Voyager. Ooh. Doctor Who meets Time Tunnel. That's a crossover for you. Mr. Magoo. Doctor Who meets Mr. Magoo. Oh, and John Orchard, he got the, you know, something I'd like to add like a little sub trivia. The correct answer is John Pertwee. I'm sorry. I have my thumb on the wrong end. The correct answer is Peter Davidson. Peter Davidson. The fifth Doctor, the one after Tom Baker. But he, ironically, he is in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He plays the sort of sentient pig creature that is the night special when they go to the restaurant at the end of the universe. It's one of the funniest scenes in the entire movie. So, yes, the correct answer is, of course, C. Peter Davidson. Oh, it's Indy's correcting me. It's Davison, not Davidson. I actually wrote Davison too, by the way, but for some reason I always pronounce it Davidson. But yes, Davison. Sorry, Davison. Oh, Davison. I can still wait, hang on a sec. Here we go. I lost a card, you cad. Number 8. This epic John Christopher trilogy was adapted for British television in the 1980s. Was it A, Day of the Triffids, B, Tripods, C, Greybeard, or D, The Midwich Cuckoos? I shall repeat. This epic John Christopher sci fi trilogy was adapted for British TV in the 1980s. Was it A, Day of the Triffids, B, Tripods, C, Greybeard, or D, The Midwich Cuckoos? And if you've paid attention in other posts, you probably already know that you can actually work it out. John Doe with his when in doubt, make up an answer. He picked E, Red Dwarf. I'll give you half credit for that. Tuck says Thrash is evidentially going to ask a question I don't think is obvious, but not this one. Let me repeat that. Thrash is eventually going to ask a question I don't think is obvious, but not this one. So you don't think this one is not obvious? Okay, I got you. The funny thing is, this miniseries didn't even air in my area. It was aired on PBS, but like all PBSs, they decide, the affiliates decide, they cherry pick what they want to run. This was actually never aired on mine. I happened to catch it when I was visiting my family in North Carolina. And Indy says, John Doe, if you type it twice, he's obligated to give you full point, I think. Yes, that's the rule. That's the rule. The correct answer is Tripods. And there's actually a story behind that, which I may or may not share with you depending on time. But Tripods. Because I actually couldn't watch the series on TV after I went home and couldn't figure out how it ended, I went and I found the trilogy and I bought all 3 of the books and read them. Books much, 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 much better than the TV adaptation. The TV adaptation, was ambitious and they really tried. But like all TV adaptations, it went off the rails. Anyway, number 7. How many super cool futuristic vehicles were there in Thunderbirds Are Go? A6, B5, C4, or D7? I shall repeat. How many super cool futuristic vehicles were there in Thunderbirds Are Go? A6, B5, C4, or D7? Somebody says, was that WGBH? Yes. That's right. Did you have the same one we did? WGBH based out of Boston. I know you lived in New York, but I thought New York had its own affiliate. But yeah, we were WGBH. Oh, Gary says he went to his sister in law's. I'm guessing he meant for Thanksgiving. Thrash, you think my battleship? B7. The correct answer is B5. In fact, in the opening sequence, it's 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah. I was actually going to ask what the name of the family that ran Thunderbirds was, but even I had forgotten. It was the Tracys, but I had forgotten that. And generally speaking, I don't ask questions that I couldn't get right. I figure that's really unfair. If I can't get them right, that would leave Indy. Number 6, and then we'll get scores. Number 6, prior to his iconic role in the that's all, folks, British master cult sci-fi TV series, Patrick McGoohan starred in this British action series. Was it A, The Saint, B, The Avengers, C, The Persuaders, or D, Danger Man? And I think I actually left out the name of the series. I'll repeat the question. I might repeat it twice just for simplicity's sake or to complicate things. Prior to his iconic role, as number 6 in the British sci-fi cult sci-fi TV series The Prisoner, Patrick McGoohan starred in this British action series. Was it A, The Saint, B, The Avengers, C, The Persuaders, or D, Danger Man? Emily, no, you don't. I'm sorry. All right. I'm actually going to let you guys know something. Danger Man, of course, was the British version. It was under the United States as Secret Agent Man. I don't know if that helps anybody, but wow. Indy says Danger Man with 86% certainty. Well, yeah, I'm actually going to tell you the story behind it. It is D, Danger Man. And a lot of people think, because, and I'm guessing a lot of you had never saw The Prisoner. I was obsessed with it when I was a kid. The Prisoner is about a British secret agent who, for whatever reason, is abducted and sent to an island where he can't escape with a bunch of people who we find out over the course of the adventure were other people involved in espionage and intelligence gathering. And we never fully find out who was operating what. It's left ambiguous. Is it the Americans? Is it the Russians? Is it some type of unknown intelligence gathering agency that is trying to protect itself, like a commercial entity? But it's established, it's accepted that the character McGoohan played in Danger Man was the secret agent who was abducted. So the correct answer is D. And let's see, some people getting scores. So Zublex is 3 out of 5. Tab is 5 out of 5. Danny says, Secret Agent Man. Secret Agent Man. Oh, for the Repo Man fans out there, Hombre, secreto, hombre, secreto. Pardon me, español es mi malo. Emily says, I've never heard of most of these shows and never watched any of them. I'm sorry, miss. Although, weren't you living in North Carolina? Because I was watching the North Carolina PBS affiliate When I saw, of course, I'm guessing you didn't watch a lot of PBS when you were a teenager. You're probably out having fun, not being a geek. Like I was never a geek. Who am I kidding? I still am a geek. Let's see what else we could go down here. Gary is 4 to 5, and he says, I thought it was the British title for Secret Agent Man, but I wasn't sure. So far, so good. Yes, Danger Man was Secret Agent Man. And again, it's mostly accepted that number 6 was, in fact, Secret Agent Man. Wajamin is 4 for 5. Tug is 4 for 5. Emily's got one so far. Gary Grimmer says, M, have you heard of Red Dwarf? Christopher says, not even Doctor Who, Emily. Melissa says 4 to 5. Christopher is 3 out of 5. Emily says she never watched Doctor Who either. Zibili says Emily T. Pons is the true great geek in the Gen X team. John Doe says Tremors meets Pitch Black. I'm on board. Johnny Orchard is 3.5 for 5. And Gary Cover says the only Doctor Who I saw was the one with Peter Cushing. Funny you mentioned that. And Shan says the only British who I enjoy is the rock group. Who are you? Who? And Johnny Orchard's correction, 2.5 out of 5. You know what, John? Give yourself 3. Call it 3, okay? The Terminator meets Dr. Seuss. And Doctor Who meets the Terminator. I'll be backen, snagging, googan, zoogan, higen. And 207 is 4 to 5. And Trevor should have been set in the Big Apple. Good one. Indiana says it helped that I watched a lot of PBS when I was younger. I used to watch MPBN. Prescott Isle. Prescott Isle, Maine? Oh, I knew a girl who went to school in Prescott Isle. Lovely thing. She was on the radio. Couldn't hear her speak when we ran under a bridge. And Emily says, Chance, I know tons more about British rock groups and TV shows. And Gary Cameron says, Terminator meets Superman. How about that? Moving forward, number 5. The aliens in the British sci-fi classic UFO were referred to as what? A, aliens. B, predators. C, Martians. D, a blancmange. You can almost guess this one. I will repeat. The aliens in the British sci-fi classic UFO were referred to as what? A, aliens. B, predators. C, Martians. Or D, a blancmange. Really, Emily? Are you trying to throw this one? Gary, India, I've got this one. Godzilla meets the Tremors, New York City. Okay. And Melissa says, I started watching Doctor Who on my local PBS. My first doctor was Tom Baker. Mine was actually John Pertwee. The first Doctor Who I saw on television was John Pertwee. I had read about him in like Starlog and Famous Monsters and other sci-fi magazines. But the first one I remember seeing, it was one with the the big purple ape men type things that we find out are actually the henchmen of the Daleks. That was the first one I actually saw on the screen. They did look like Sasquatches, John. And Indy for the win. Yes, they just called them aliens. There was no cute word for them. Moving forward, number 4. Before his performance as a non-canon Doctor Who, Peter Cushing starred in a TV film adaptation of this sci-fi masterpiece. Was it A, 1984, B, Things to Come, C, A Brave New World, or D, It Happened Here? I shall repeat. Melissa says, the Orgons. Yeah, I thought it was pronounced Oregon, but I just couldn't seem to nail it down. 257 remembers the first Doctor. I saw a few Hartnells. They were running them as like a movie. They took the episodes and like put them into like a movie block when I was in college, but that was a long time ago. And he says to Tug the blancmange is working its way out onto the pitch. Monty Python sci-fi sketch. I shall repeat. Before his performance as a non-canon Doctor Who, Peter Cushing starred in a TV film adaptation of this sci-fi masterpiece. Was it A, 1984, B, Things to Come, C, A Brave New World, or D, It Happened Here? Zubaplex, you actually had heard of It Happened Here? I am so proud of you. I thought I was the only person on the planet who's seen that. It Happened Here is actually an adaptation of it. Well, actually, what was it? What was it? I think they actually called it How It Happened Here. But it's like an anti-fascist film. It's about how during World War II, the fascists actually take over England. And even though the Germans lose, England stays fascist after the war. And it's how that could possibly happen. A lot of people picked A Brave New World. And I'm sorry, good guess, but wrong. He actually starred, and I want to say a 1949, maybe early 50s, adaptation of 1984. Brave New World was done as a TV miniseries on a couple of occasions, but Peter Cushing was not in it, and neither of those adaptations were before Doctor Who. So, sorry. And Zublik says he did hear of it. Yeah, I saw it on AMC or something like 20 years ago, almost by mistake. Number 3. According to its opening credits, Thunderbirds Are Go was filmed in A, Technicolor, B, in living color, C, in Vitacolor, or D, just in color. I shall repeat. According to its opening credits, Thunderbirds Are Go was filmed in A, Technicolor, B, living color, C, Vitacolor, or D, just in color. Someone was paying attention. Indy, I agree with you. You know, for years, I thought it was in vivid color. I somehow remember it as vivid color, probably because when I was 8, when I was watching Thunderbirds Are Go, I had no idea what Vitacolor is, and I agree with you. Whatever the heck that is. Well, of course, Super Anatronimation also doesn't exist either. They made up a lot of words for TV shows back then to sound cool. It's C, Vitacolor, even though no one's sure what Vitacolor is. And stereophonic sound. Um, moving on to number 2. In Space 1999, and you know sooner or later I was going to have to get to Space 1999. In Space 1999, who played Maya's father? Was it A, Patrick Troughton, B, Brian Blessed, C, Peter Cushing, or D, Christopher Lee? Super Marionation. What did I say? Yeah, Super Marionation, Zuplex. Yes, you are correct. I shall repeat. In Space 1999, who played Maya's father? Was it A, Patrick Troughton, B, Brian Blessed, C, Peter Cushing, or D, Christopher Lee? One, two, three. Look at Mr. Lee. 3, 4, 5. Look at him jive. Doug says, LOL, another question. Chance already answered. Oh, really? No kidding. No kidding. Small world. Um, Chance, I'm starting to think you and I were separated at birth. Oh, Emily says, "What is just in color?" Well, no, Emily, you remember when we were kids, TV shows, they'd be like, Adam 12 in color, because a lot of people didn't have color TV sets at the time. So the TV shows would help advertise color TV sets by telling you they were broadcasting in color. You know, watch emergency in color. And I remember I'd be at my grandparents' house or something, and I'd be like, why, like 4 or 5, it's like, why are they telling us it's in color? I can tell it's in color. And he said something snarky about how it's for the people who don't have color TVs. And he says technically wasn't Donkey Kong Super Mario Nation? Maybe. There's a bell ringing in my head now. Is that what it said? Super Mario Nation? Or yeah, maybe that's what I was thinking of. And Gary says, Indy, I loved him in Flash Gordon. Flash! Ah, Hawkman! Dive! I loved him in Blackadder. In the first incarnation of Blackadder, he plays Richard the Fourth. He's absolutely amazing in it. But he's pretty much good in everything he does. Gordon's alive. Denny says, we all get our trivia questions by watching Chance and Doug. What about chopped liver? And 257's gonna go. Bye, guys. Hey, 257, thank you for stopping in. It was great having you with us. Take care. We'll see you next week. And typically says most network shows were in black and white in the 60s. Yes, that's why when they switched to color, it was a big selling point. And they wanted people to know they were in color, even the people who couldn't tell by watching it because they didn't have color TVs. And Doug says he's also in the first season of Blackadder. As we all now know. And he says it's a Super Mario joke, Bob. I'll be honest, I don't think I ever saw the Super Mario movie. I think I saw bits and pieces over the years. So forgive me if I didn't get the joke. And Gary says Wizard of Oz goes to Narnia. Ooh. I love it. The Lion, the Wicked Witch of the West, and the Wardrobe. Love it. Tug says, now is the summer of great content. Edmund says, now Brian Blessed in Doctor Who. He ended up with Pearl in the last part of Trial of the Doctor. Did not know that. But yes, it was Brian Blessed. And number one. And speaking of Space 1999, sci-fi legend Barry Morris, Dr. Who's This or Whatever, in the show, was not in this major science fiction TV series. A, Twilight Zone, B, The Outer Limits, C, The Invaders, or D, Star Trek. And I shall, he says, no problem, Bob, I just hoist it onto the pile with the others. All right. Thank you. Speaking of Space 1999, sci-fi legend Barry Morris was not in this major science fiction series. A, Twilight Zone, B, The Outer Limits, C, The Invaders, or D, Star Trek. And of course, as you know, he's probably best known for playing Inspector Javert in The Fugitive. And when you watch The Fugitive, he is such a tragic character. Because he's a recurring character. I think he's only in maybe a third or even less of the episodes. But every time we see him, something bad happens. He could have gotten past this in his career, but he becomes so obsessed with Kimball, he destroys his career looking for Kimball rather than just going on with his life. It destroys his marriage. He ruins his relationship with his son, played by Kurt Russell. He destroys his life looking for Kimball. Just like it's not Javert in Les Miserables. It's something like that. Or Captain Ahab in not Captain Ahab. Is it Captain Ahab? Moby Dick. Who's the captain of Moby Dick? Indy, I can already hear you correcting me. So you know what? Let's watch for Indy, and I'll just read the. But in any event, the correct answer is D. He was not in Star Trek, making him the only Canadian actor to not have a part on Star Trek. And Melissa says, yes, Gary has a commanding presence. Yes, that's Brian Blessing does have a commanding presence. And Gary says the Lost Saucer in Lost in Space. Christopher says Tom Baker was married to the second Romana. Yes, Leah something or other. I used to know her name. I believe they have a couple kids together. Javert. And Melissa says I share a birthday with Barry Morris. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, it was Ahab. I was right. Huh. One has never ceased. Oh, and of course scores. Zublik says 5 out of 10. You see, you did pretty good for a. Oh wait. Before we do scores, the bonus. The bonus. The bonus question is the untimely cancellation of Doctor Who, indeed all British TV sci-fi, was attributed to what? A. Cost-cutting measures. B. Pleas for public decency. C. An overall decline in ratings. Or D. A deranged British TV executive. I shall repeat. The ultimate cancellation of Doctor Who and indeed all British science fiction television was attributed to what? A. Cost-cutting measures. B. Pleas for public decency. C. The decline in ratings. Or D. The deranged acts of a British TV executive. Yeah. George very White House. Gary Garber says Bedknobs and Broomsticks cross with Mary Poppins. Yes, but I still like Relic Ace of Spies. But yeah, I think Bedknobs and Broomsticks would be a good crossover with Mary Poppins. John Orchard said Pink Floyd wrote the song Pigs. These little ones, 3 little ones. Pigs, 3 little ones. Um, Melissa says D and maybe Mary Whithouse. Jenny says, what was the UFO show with Jim Neighbors and Ruth Buzzy? Yee, Lost Saucer. Hey, you Whithouse. Haha, Sherrod, you are. Emily says, far out space nuts. No, that was Bob Denver and oh god, guy knew him. He used to come to the deli he worked at all the time. I forgot the actor's name, but it was someone else. And someone says, which Star of Space 1999 also starred in the return of the Pink Panther? Um, Good question. Gary Campbell says, try this Bedknobs and Broomsticks crossed over with the Fantasy World Narnia, Neverland, and Wonderland. I'm in. I'm in. Chuck McCain. Anyway, the correct answer to the bonus is it was a deranged British TV executive. Michael Ian Grade was his name, or officially he's known as the Baron Grade of Yarmouth. La dee da, your bleeding highness. Apparently he couldn't stand science fiction and was on a crusade against it. The story goes initially he wanted to get Colin Baker fired from Doctor Who, which some people say Colin was the worst Doctor Who. But apparently, he was also having an affair with what's one's name? Liza Goddard, who was Colin Baker's ex-wife. So while some people say the two were totally and completely unrelated, Pete Davidson being one of them. Ironically, what he then did is he canceled all British shows for that season. He also canceled specifically Tripods. Tripods, which had ended on a cliffhanger episode. That was canceled, so people were never able to find out what actually happened to Tripods either. So, Christopher is 6 out of 10. Yeah, we'll get scores now, by the way. Christopher 6 out of 10. Tug is 8 out of 10 with the bonus. Hannibal Lecter beats the beaver. Zublik says Baker was lame. Oh, leave it to Cleaver. I love it. Tom Baker was married to Layla Ward. Layla Ward. Thank you, Layla Ward. Layla. Emily is 2 out of 10. Johnny Orchard is 4 out of 10. Melissa says, poor Colin Baker. Yeah, I know. Tab is 8 of 10. Zublik says, leave it to Beaver Gary. Uh, Gary Carter says, is Baker still alive? Yes. Yes, he is still alive. And let's see if we get some more scores while we're at it here. Melissa's 9 out of 10. Excellent, excellent. Gary is 8 out of 10. And only 6 people watching, so we don't have a lot of scores. So we'll give it a try to see if there's anyone else. Is there anybody out there? But my little thing about wrapping it up, like I said, we're down to 6 people. Anywho, I did have fun tonight, by the way. Um, I think I'll do the SNL trivia for next week. By the way, that sounds fun. And their season finale or the year end finale should be coming up soon. I love those where they read jokes written by the other. Um, totally politically correct, but fun. Uh, Tug says that number can't be correct. Which number? It's as easy as pie. Simply says he ruined Doctor Who as far as I was concerned. And Colin Baker, yeah. I had tuned out before that anyway. I honestly I stopped watching after Tom Baker left. I tried Pete Davison, couldn't do it. Melissa says Tom Baker is 90 and next month is his birthday. And yes, he is still alive. Gary. There's more than 4 people watching. Yeah, there's 6. According to my number, there's 6. Yeah, didn't get a huge turnout. I think a lot of people traveled for Thanksgiving, so they're just getting home today and probably are zonked. But I'll live. I'll live. Next week will be better. It's always better. And Julie says Tom Baker's scarf, really? And Melissa says, sadly, we lost John Pertwee and Patrick Troughton. Indeed, we have. And Doug says, too much tryptophan. Indeed, indeed. So anyway, so guys, I want to thank you guys all for showing up tonight. I had a blast. I hope you liked the trivia. We'll do SNL next week, I promise. Also, I'm going to read that this new book, um, Ghost Hunters by Johnny Orchard, and keep you guys posted. And again, feel free to buy one of his shirts. I'll eventually get mine back up on spring too, so hopefully be able to buy mine. And then I'll do this in future too. But anyway, until next week, be good, be safe, be careful. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all again very, 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 very soon. Peace.